If you've been taking that daily supplement your neighbor swears by, or that over-the-counter remedy you picked up last month, you might want to pause and watch this entire video. Because what I'm about to share could explain why you've been feeling bloated, experiencing digestive discomfort, or dealing with mysterious stomach issues that seem to come out of nowhere. As a gastroenterologist with over 15 years of clinical experience, I've seen countless patients walk into my office confused and frustrated, not realizing that the very remedies they're taking to feel better might actually be disrupting their gut health in ways they never imagined. I'm Dr. Helen Brooks, a board-certified gastroenterologist, and today we're going to talk about 9 incredibly popular remedies that millions of people use every single day. Remedies that are sitting in medicine cabinets right now that could be quietly wreaking havoc on your digestive system. And trust me, some of these are going to surprise you because they're things we've been told are completely safe, even beneficial. Before we dive into these eye-opening revelations, if you haven't subscribed yet, I strongly recommend hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications so you never miss another health tip designed specifically for you. And please, if you find this information valuable, leave your questions and video suggestions in the comments below. I read every single one, and it helps me create content that truly addresses your health concerns and helps more people just like you take control of their well-being. Now let me tell you about something that happened just 3 months ago in my practice. I had a patient, let's call her Margaret, a 68-year-old retired teacher who came to see me absolutely desperate. She'd been suffering from severe bloating, cramping, and irregular bowel movements for almost a year. She'd tried everything, changed her diet multiple times, increased her water intake, started exercising more. Nothing worked. When we finally sat down and went through every single thing she was putting into her body, we discovered something shocking. Margaret had been taking 6 different supplements and over-the-counter remedies, thinking she was being proactive about her health. But these well-intentioned choices were actually creating a perfect storm in her gut, disrupting the delicate balance of her microbiome and causing most of her symptoms. And Margaret's story isn't unique. In fact, it's becoming increasingly common in my practice. So let's get into these 9 remedies, and I want you to pay close attention because chances are you or someone you love is using at least one of them right now. The first one might shock you because it's one of the most commonly recommended remedies out there, something millions of people take without a second thought. I'm talking about proton pump inhibitors, those little pills people take for heartburn and acid reflux. Now, don't get me wrong, these medications can be life-changing for people with severe acid reflux or ulcers. But here's what most people don't realize. Your stomach acid isn't just there to cause you discomfort. It plays a crucial role in your digestive process and in maintaining a healthy gut microbiome. Let me explain what happens in your body. Your stomach produces hydrochloric acid for several critical reasons. First, it helps break down the food you eat, particularly proteins. Second, it acts as a powerful first line of defense against harmful bacteria and pathogens that enter your body through food. Third, and this is crucial, it helps your body absorb essential nutrients like vitamin B12, iron, calcium, and magnesium. When you suppress this acid production for extended periods, you're essentially disrupting all of these processes. I remember working with Robert, a 72-year-old former engineer who'd been taking proton pump inhibitors daily for 5 years. He'd started taking them for occasional heartburn, and then just never stopped. When he came to see me, he was experiencing constant digestive issues, unexplained fatigue, and had recently been diagnosed with osteopenia, the precursor to osteoporosis. Robert couldn't understand it. He ate well, he exercised, he took his vitamins. But when we ran comprehensive tests, we discovered his body wasn't absorbing nutrients properly anymore. His gut bacteria had shifted dramatically, with an overgrowth of harmful bacteria that normally would have been kept in check by stomach acid. His fatigue was partly due to B12 deficiency, and his bone density issues were linked to poor calcium absorption. The very medication he'd been taking to feel better was creating a cascade of health problems. Here's the thing about your gut microbiome. It's an incredibly complex ecosystem with trillions of bacteria, and it thrives on balance. When you dramatically reduce stomach acid, you change the pH balance throughout your digestive tract. This creates an environment where harmful bacteria can flourish in places they shouldn't be, like your small intestine. This can lead to a condition called SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which causes bloating, gas, diarrhea, and malabsorption of nutrients. If you're still watching and finding this information helpful, comment a number 1 below to show me you're following along. Because what I'm about to share next is just as important. The second remedy on our list is something that many people consider completely natural and safe: antibiotics for every little infection. Now, I want to be clear. Antibiotics are miracle drugs that have saved countless lives, and when you truly need them, they're essential. But here's the problem. They're massively overprescribed, and every single time you take a course of antibiotics, you're essentially dropping a bomb on your gut microbiome. Antibiotics don't discriminate. They're designed to kill bacteria, period. They can't tell the difference between the harmful bacteria causing your infection and the beneficial bacteria that are essential for your digestive health, immune function, and even mental health. Every course of antibiotics wipes out significant portions of your gut microbiome, and while it can recover, it often doesn't return to its previous state, especially if you're taking antibiotics repeatedly. I'll never forget Sarah, a 65-year-old woman who'd been suffering from recurrent urinary tract infections for years. She'd been prescribed antibiotics at least 4 or 5 times a year, sometimes more. By the time she came to see me, she was experiencing chronic digestive issues, had developed multiple food sensitivities she'd never had before, and was battling persistent yeast infections. Her immune system seemed to be failing her in every way. When we analyzed her gut microbiome, it was devastated. The diversity that should have been there was gone, replaced by a limited number of bacterial species, some of which had become resistant to antibiotics. Her gut lining had become permeable, a condition often called leaky gut, allowing partially digested food particles and toxins to enter her bloodstream and trigger inflammatory responses throughout her body. Sarah's recovery took time. We had to carefully rebuild her microbiome with targeted probiotics, prebiotics, and significant dietary changes. But the damage could have been prevented if she'd known to take probiotics during and after each antibiotic course, and if her doctors had been more judicious about prescribing antibiotics in the first place. The third remedy is one that surprises almost everyone when I mention it. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, or NSAIDs, those pain relievers people pop like candy for headaches, joint pain, or muscle soreness. We're talking about some of the most commonly used over-the-counter medications in the world. And while they're effective at reducing pain and inflammation in your joints and muscles, they're also causing damage to your gut lining every single time you take them. Here's what happens at a cellular level. NSAIDs work by blocking enzymes called cyclooxygenases, which are involved in producing prostaglandins, the chemicals that cause pain and inflammation. But here's the catch. These same prostaglandins also play a protective role in your gut, maintaining the mucus layer that protects your stomach and intestinal lining from acid and digestive enzymes. When you block prostaglandin production, you're removing this protective barrier. Let me tell you about James, a 70-year-old retired construction worker who'd been dealing with arthritis for years. He'd been taking NSAIDs daily, sometimes multiple times a day, to manage his pain. He thought he was doing the right thing, managing his symptoms so he could stay active and enjoy time with his grandchildren. But he started noticing digestive problems, occasional stomach pain, and what he described as a general feeling of unwellness. When he finally came to see me after experiencing dark, tarry stools, a sign of bleeding in the digestive tract, we discovered he'd developed multiple ulcers in his stomach and small intestine. His gut lining was inflamed and damaged, and he was at serious risk of a major gastrointestinal bleed. James was shocked. He had no idea that the medication he'd been taking for pain could cause such serious damage to his digestive system. And he's not alone. Studies suggest that regular NSAID use significantly increases the risk of ulcers, bleeding, and perforation in the digestive tract. Even more concerning, NSAIDs can disrupt the gut microbiome, increase intestinal permeability, and contribute to inflammatory bowel conditions. But here's what really gets me. The fourth remedy on this list is something people take specifically for digestive health, thinking they're helping themselves. I'm talking about certain types of fiber supplements, particularly those made with synthetic or isolated fibers. Now, fiber is absolutely essential for gut health. I'm not disputing that. But not all fiber is created equal, and some of these supplements can actually do more harm than good. Your gut bacteria feed on fiber, fermenting it and producing short-chain fatty acids that are crucial for gut health, reducing inflammation, and even influencing your immune system and brain function. But here's the issue. Many commercial fiber supplements contain isolated or synthetic fibers that your gut bacteria can't properly ferment. Some can actually feed harmful bacteria, leading to bloating, gas, and digestive discomfort. Others can be so bulky that they cause constipation rather than relieving it, especially if you're not drinking enough water. I worked with Dorothy, a 63-year-old woman who'd been told by her previous doctor to take a fiber supplement to help with constipation. She'd been diligently taking it every single day for months, but instead of getting better, her symptoms were getting worse. She was more bloated than ever, experiencing painful cramping, and her bowel movements had become even more irregular. She felt defeated, like her body was betraying her. When we reviewed the specific supplement she was using, I realized it was one of those synthetic fiber products that can actually exacerbate digestive issues in sensitive individuals. We switched her to whole food sources of diverse fibers from vegetables, fruits, and legumes. And within weeks, her symptoms began to improve. Her gut bacteria were finally getting the variety of fibers they needed to thrive. The lesson here isn't that fiber is bad. It's that the source and type of fiber matters tremendously, and more isn't always better. Your gut needs a diverse array of fibers from real food sources, not megadoses of isolated fiber compounds. If this is making you rethink what's in your medicine cabinet, wait until you hear about the fifth remedy. This one is particularly concerning because it's marketed as being completely natural and safe for everyone. I'm talking about certain herbal supplements and teas, particularly those marketed for weight loss or detoxification. Now, I want to be clear. Many herbs have genuine medicinal properties and have been used safely for thousands of years. But the problem is that the supplement industry is largely unregulated, and many of these products contain ingredients in concentrations that can be harmful, especially to your digestive system. Some contain senna or cascara, natural laxatives that can damage the nerves in your colon with regular use, leading to a condition where your bowel can't function normally without them. Others contain herbs that can damage your liver, disrupt your gut microbiome, or interact dangerously with medications you might be taking. I remember Linda, a 59-year-old woman who came to see me with severe abdominal pain and liver enzyme abnormalities. She'd been drinking a popular detox tea every day for 6 months, thinking she was cleansing her body and promoting health. But the tea contained several herbs that, in high concentrations, were actually toxic to her liver and irritating to her digestive tract. Her gut was inflamed, her liver was stressed, and she was experiencing malnutrition because the laxative effects of the tea were preventing proper nutrient absorption. Linda was devastated when she learned that her well-intentioned health routine was actually harming her. It took months of careful management to help her body recover. The truth is, your body has its own detoxification systems, your liver and kidneys, and they work incredibly well when you support them with proper nutrition, hydration, and a healthy lifestyle. These extreme detox products often do more harm than good, disrupting your natural processes and damaging your gut in the process. Now, the sixth remedy is something that many people don't even think of as a remedy, but it absolutely affects your gut health. I'm talking about artificial sweeteners, those zero-calorie sugar substitutes that are in everything from diet sodas to sugar-free gum to protein powders. People use them thinking they're making a healthier choice, avoiding sugar and calories. But emerging research is showing us that artificial sweeteners can significantly disrupt your gut microbiome. Here's what we're learning. Your gut bacteria respond to artificial sweeteners in unexpected ways. Some studies have shown that certain artificial sweeteners can alter the composition of your gut microbiome, promoting the growth of bacteria associated with glucose intolerance and metabolic problems. In other words, the very sweeteners people use to avoid blood sugar problems might actually be contributing to them by disrupting gut health. Additionally, artificial sweeteners can affect the gut lining, potentially increasing permeability and inflammation. I had a patient named Patricia, a 71-year-old diabetic who was struggling with uncontrolled blood sugar despite following her diet plan carefully. She couldn't understand why her readings were so erratic. When we did a deep dive into her daily routine, we discovered she was consuming artificial sweeteners throughout the day in her coffee, in sugar-free desserts, in diet sodas. She thought she was being so careful with her diabetes management. When we eliminated the artificial sweeteners and worked on improving her gut health with probiotics and whole foods, her blood sugar control improved dramatically. Her gut bacteria had been disrupted by the constant exposure to these chemical sweeteners, affecting her metabolism in ways she never could have guessed. The seventh remedy is particularly ironic because people take it specifically to improve their digestive health, but they're often taking it wrong. I'm talking about probiotics. Yes, the good bacteria supplements that are supposed to help your gut. Now, probiotics can be incredibly beneficial when used correctly. But here's the problem. Most people are taking random probiotic supplements without any understanding of what's actually in them, whether they need those specific strains, or how to take them properly. Your gut microbiome is unique to you, like a fingerprint. What works for one person might not work for another. Some people take high-dose probiotics without understanding that introducing massive amounts of bacteria can actually disrupt their existing microbiome balance, at least temporarily, causing bloating, gas, and digestive discomfort. Others take probiotics that don't contain live active cultures by the time they consume them because they've been improperly stored or are past their expiration date. And some take probiotics while simultaneously doing things that damage their gut, like taking antibiotics without proper timing, or consuming a diet high in processed foods and sugar that feeds harmful bacteria. I worked with George, a 66-year-old man who'd been taking expensive probiotic supplements for over a year, but he wasn't seeing any benefits. In fact, he felt like his digestive issues were getting worse. He was frustrated and felt like he'd wasted a lot of money on something that was supposed to help. When we talked in detail about his routine, I realized he was taking his probiotics at the wrong time of day, with foods that were likely killing the bacteria before they could reach his intestines. He was also continuing to eat a diet very low in prebiotic fibers, the foods that good bacteria need to thrive. Probiotics without prebiotics are like planting seeds without water. We restructured his approach, focused on healing his gut through diet first, and then introduced specific probiotic strains at the right time and in the right way. Finally, he started seeing the improvements he'd been hoping for. The eighth remedy is one that many people don't consider harmful at all. In fact, it's often recommended by well-meaning friends and family members. I'm talking about excessive use of antacids, those chewable tablets people keep in their pockets and purses for quick relief from heartburn or indigestion. While an occasional antacid isn't going to cause problems, chronic use can significantly disrupt your digestive process and gut health. Similar to proton pump inhibitors, antacids neutralize stomach acid, but they do it more temporarily. However, when you're taking them multiple times a day, every day, you're constantly interfering with your body's ability to properly digest food and absorb nutrients. You're also creating an environment where harmful bacteria can survive and proliferate when they shouldn't. And here's something most people don't know. Many antacids contain aluminum, magnesium, or calcium in forms and amounts that can affect your gut microbiome and even contribute to constipation or diarrhea depending on the type. I remember Edward, a 69-year-old retired accountant who'd been popping antacids after almost every meal for years. He'd started doing it because he experienced occasional heartburn, but over time, it had become a habit. He took them preventively, thinking he was protecting his stomach. But when he came to see me, he was experiencing constant digestive discomfort, bloating after meals, and unexplained fatigue. We discovered that his chronic antacid use had disrupted his entire digestive process. Food wasn't being properly broken down, nutrients weren't being absorbed, and his gut bacteria had shifted in unhealthy ways. He was also developing early signs of osteoporosis because of poor calcium absorption, despite taking antacids that contained calcium. The irony wasn't lost on him. We worked together to address the root cause of his heartburn, rather than just masking the symptoms. We discovered he had a hiatal hernia and reflux that could be managed with lifestyle changes, dietary modifications, and proper meal timing. Within months, he no longer needed antacids at all, and his digestive health improved dramatically. And now, the ninth remedy, and this is one that's become incredibly popular in recent years. I'm talking about collagen supplements, those powders and pills that promise to improve your skin, joints, and gut health. Now, collagen is an important protein in your body, and there is some evidence that supplementing with it can have benefits. But here's what's concerning me as a gastroenterologist. Many people are taking these supplements in high doses without understanding how they might be affecting their gut microbiome and digestive process. Some research suggests that depending on the source and processing of collagen supplements, they might affect gut bacteria composition. Additionally, some people experience digestive side effects like feelings of fullness, bloating, or changes in bowel movements when taking collagen. And here's something that really concerns me. Many collagen supplements are heavily processed and may contain additives, fillers, or contaminants that can irritate the gut lining or disrupt the microbiome. I had a patient named Martha, a 64-year-old woman who'd started taking high-dose collagen supplements after reading about their supposed benefits online. Within a few weeks, she started experiencing persistent bloating, changes in her bowel movements, and a general feeling of digestive discomfort. She couldn't figure out what was wrong because she hadn't changed anything else in her routine. When we finally connected the dots to the collagen supplement, she was surprised. She'd thought she was doing something healthy for her body. We stopped the supplement, and her symptoms gradually resolved. Later, we tried a different, higher-quality source of collagen in a much lower dose, and she tolerated it much better. The point here isn't that collagen is inherently bad. It's that more isn't always better. Quality matters tremendously, and every supplement, no matter how natural or beneficial it seems, can have unintended effects on your gut health. Now, after hearing about all 9 of these remedies, you might be wondering what you should do. First, let me be absolutely clear. I'm not telling you to stop taking medications that your doctor has prescribed. If you're on any of these remedies for medical reasons, you need to talk to your healthcare provider before making any changes. What I'm encouraging you to do is to become more aware of what you're putting into your body and how it might be affecting your gut health. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Your gut health is foundational to your overall health. It affects your immune system, your mental health, your energy levels, your ability to absorb nutrients, and even your risk for chronic diseases. Every single thing you put into your mouth has the potential to either support or disrupt your gut microbiome and digestive function. If you're experiencing unexplained digestive issues, I encourage you to look closely at all the remedies, supplements, and over-the-counter medications you're taking. Make a complete list and review it with your doctor or a gastroenterologist. Sometimes the solution to your gut problems isn't adding more remedies. It's removing the ones that are causing harm. Focus on supporting your gut health through whole foods, plenty of diverse plant fibers, fermented foods, adequate hydration, stress management, and regular physical activity. These are the foundations of a healthy gut, and they're more powerful than any supplement or remedy. Be skeptical of extreme claims, whether from supplement companies or detox programs. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Your body is incredibly intelligent and capable of healing itself when you provide it with the right conditions. And please, if you're going to take supplements or remedies, do your research. Look for high-quality products from reputable companies, understand what you're taking and why, and pay attention to how your body responds. Your gut will tell you if something isn't right. Listen to it. I hope this video has opened your eyes to the hidden ways that popular remedies might be affecting your gut health. If you found this information valuable, please hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and let me know in the comments which of these 9 remedies surprised you the most. And remember, if you're experiencing persistent digestive issues, don't try to figure it out alone. Schedule an appointment with a gastroenterologist who can properly evaluate your symptoms, review your medications and supplements, and create a personalized plan to support your gut health. Your gut health matters more than you probably realize, and small changes in what you put into your body can make a tremendous difference in how you feel every single day. Take care of your gut, and it will take care of you.